Welcome to Star Bios, where the spotlight shines bright on the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most beloved stars. Today, we're diving into the captivating story of Jean Arthur, a talented actress whose unique blend of wit, charm, and vulnerability endeared her to audiences during the golden age of cinema. Born on October 17, 1900, in Plattsburgh, New York, Gladys Georgiana Green, later known as Jean Arthur, entered the world during a time of great social change. The turn of the century marked the beginning of a new era, with the rise of industrialization, urbanization, and technological advancements transforming the American landscape. As the youngest of three children to Johanna and Hubert Green, Jean's early life was shaped by her family's modest means and her parents' strong values. Their small, cozy home on Oak Street was filled with the sweet scent of freshly baked bread wafting from the kitchen, where Johanna spent most of her days cooking and managing the household. Growing up in a small town on the shores of Lake Champlain, Jean's childhood was idyllic, with memories of swimming, fishing, and exploring the surrounding countryside. She would often spend hours playing in the nearby woods collecting wildflowers and watching the sunset over the lake. Her father, a photographer, instilled in her a love for the arts, often taking her on photography shoots and encouraging her creative expression. This early exposure to the world of art and self-expression would later influence Jean's decision to pursue a career in acting. Hubert's old camera, with its intricate mechanisms and leather straps, became a symbol of Jean's fascination with the art of capturing life's moments. As a young girl, Jean was shy and introverted, often feeling like an outsider among her peers. She would sit quietly in class, observing her classmates with a keen eye and creating elaborate stories about their lives. Her imagination ran wild, conjuring up characters and scenarios that would later serve as a foundation for her acting craft. Her mother, Johanna, a former schoolteacher, recognized Jean's creative potential and encouraged her to develop her talents through music, dance, and elocution lessons. The sound of Jean's laughter and the rustling of her skirts as she twirled across the living room floor are etched in the memories of those who knew her during this time. The Green family's financial situation was precarious, with Hubert's photography business struggling to make ends meet. To supplement their income, Johanna took in boarders, turning their home into a bustling hub of activity. This exposure to diverse personalities and stories would later influence Jean's ability to portray complex, multifaceted characters on screen. The boarders, each with their unique experiences and perspectives, became an integral part of the Green family's life, sharing meals, stories, and laughter around the dinner table. As Jean entered her teenage years, she began to feel the constraints of small-town life. With limited opportunities for women and a desire to break free from traditional expectations, Jean set her sights on the city, dreaming of a career in the arts. Her parents, though cautious, supported her aspirations, recognizing the potential for their daughter to make a name for herself in the world beyond Plattsburgh. They encouraged her to read books, attend concerts, and explore the world beyond the confines of their small town. With the onset of World War I, the Green family's life was touched by the conflict, as Hubert's photography business began to focus on documenting the war effort. This exposure to the harsh realities of war would later influence Jean's perspective on the human condition, shaping her approach to acting and her commitment to portraying strong, independent women on screen. The sound of soldiers marching through the streets, the smell of gunpowder, and the sight of wounded men returning from the front lines left an indelible mark on Jean's young mind. As Jean approached adulthood, she faced a crossroads, torn between pursuing a traditional path and following her passion for the arts. With the encouragement of her family and the support of her community, Jean made the bold decision to leave Plattsburgh and embark on a journey that would take her to the bright lights of New York City, marking the beginning of an extraordinary adventure that would ultimately lead her to become one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. The day of her departure was bittersweet, filled with tears, hugs, and words of encouragement from her loved ones. As Jean boarded the train, she felt a mix of excitement and trepidation, unsure of what lay ahead but determined to make her mark on the world. The rhythm of the train wheels clicking along the tracks, the whistle blowing in the distance, and the sight of the city skyline rising above the horizon all blended together to create an unforgettable experience that would stay with Jean forever. As Jean Arthur stepped off the train in New York City, the bright lights and bustling energy of the metropolis enveloped her, filling her with a sense of wonder and trepidation. The year was 1920, and the city was alive with the sound of jazz drifting from the nightclubs of Harlem, the hum of automobiles honking on Fifth Avenue, and the chatter of pedestrians rushing to and fro on the sidewalks of Manhattan. With a suitcase in hand and a determined glint in her eye, Jean set out to make a name for herself in the world of theater, a dream she had nurtured since childhood, when she would put on makeshift performances for her family in their humble home in Plattsburgh, New York. As she made her way through the crowded streets, Jean's mind wandered back to her small-town upbringing, where she had spent countless hours poring over plays and novels, imagining herself as a leading lady on the stages of Broadway. Her parents, Johann and Augusta Arthur, had encouraged her love of theater, despite their own modest means, and had even allowed her to take elocution lessons with a local teacher. Her early days in the city were marked by struggle and perseverance, as she worked tirelessly to hone her craft, taking on small roles in various productions and studying with renowned acting coaches. She would often attend performances at the Theater Guild, watching in awe as actors like Eva Le Gallienne and John Barrymore brought characters to life on stage. It was during this period that Jean developed her unique style, a blend of vulnerability, wit, and strength that would become her hallmark. She spent hours observing people on the street, studying their mannerisms and speech patterns, and practicing her own diction and movement in front of a mirror. Her big break came in 1923, when she landed a role in the Broadway production of The Green Hat, a play that explored themes of love, loss, and identity. The show was a critical success, with Jean's performance earning her rave reviews and catching the attention of Hollywood scouts. As she took the stage each night, Jean felt a sense of exhilaration and pride, knowing that she was finally making a name for herself in the competitive world of theater. In 1928, Jean made her film debut in the silent movie Cameo Kirby, opposite John Gilbert, one of the most popular leading men of the time. Though the film was not a major commercial success, it marked the beginning of Jean's long and storied career in Hollywood, where she would go on to become one of the most beloved and respected actresses of her generation. As the industry transitioned to talkies, Jean proved herself to be a versatile and talented performer, effortlessly adapting to the new technology and delivering memorable performances in films such as The Silver Horde, 1930, and The Masquerader, 1933. One of the most significant relationships of Jean's career was with director Frank Capra, who cast her in several of his films, including Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, 1936, and You Can't Take It With You, 1938. Their collaboration resulted in some of the most iconic movies of the 1930s, with Jean's performances earning her critical acclaim and numerous award nominations. As Capra once said, Jean Arthur is a very special kind of actress, one who can convey a sense of vulnerability and strength at the same time, making her characters feel fully realized and relatable. Jean, in turn, admired Capra's ability to craft stories that were both entertaining and thought-provoking, and she cherished the creative freedom he gave her on set. Throughout the 1930s and 1940s, Jean continued to work with some of the most talented directors and actors of her time, including George Stevens, Billy Wilder, and Cary Grant. Her films often explored themes of social justice, personal freedom, and the human condition, resonating with audiences and cementing her status as a Hollywood legend. In Only Angels Have Wings, 1939, Jean starred alongside Cary Grant, delivering a nuanced and emotionally charged performance that showcased her remarkable range as an actress. The film's storyline, which revolved around a group of pilots in a remote South American town, was both thrilling and poignant, and Jean's character, Bonnie Lee, added a touch of warmth and humor to the narrative. As the years passed, Jean's dedication to her craft only deepened, and she remained committed to portraying complex, multifaceted characters that reflected the changing times. Her contributions to the world of cinema were significant, paving the way for future generations of actresses and inspiring countless fans with her unique blend of talent, intelligence, and wit. With each new role, Jean continued to push the boundaries of her art, always striving to create characters that felt authentic and relatable, and leaving an indelible mark on the silver screen. In between films, Jean would often return to New York City, where she would attend theater performances, visit with friends, and indulge in her love of books and music. She was particularly fond of the works of Shakespeare and Ibsen, and would often spend hours poring over their plays, analyzing the characters and plot twists. Her love of literature and theater had been a constant source of inspiration throughout her career, and she never lost sight of the importance of staying curious and open to new ideas. As Jean Arthur's career continued to flourish in the 1940s and 1950s, she found herself at the pinnacle of Hollywood's golden age, surrounded by icons like Cary Grant, James Stewart, and Frank Capra. In The Talk of the Town, 1942, she played opposite Cary Grant and Ronald Colman, bringing a sense of depth and nuance to the character of Nora Shelley, a schoolteacher caught in a love triangle with two men from different walks of life. Her performance was marked by a sparkling chemistry with her co-stars, as well as a profound understanding of the complexities of human relationships. The 1950s saw Arthur take on even more complex roles, including her iconic portrayal of Marion Starrett in George Stevens' Shane, 1953. This classic Western, starring Alan Ladd and Van Heflin, cemented Arthur's status as a Hollywood legend, with her character embodying the quiet strength and resilience of a frontier woman. Her performance was widely praised by critics, who noted her ability to convey a sense of depth and emotion through subtle gestures and expressions. As the years passed, Jean Arthur became increasingly selective about her roles, choosing projects that aligned with her values and allowed her to explore new creative avenues. She appeared in a number of television productions, including the popular series Schlitz Playhouse, which featured adaptations of literary classics and original stories by prominent writers. This medium gave her the opportunity to work with a diverse range of directors and actors, while also allowing her to reach a broader audience. Her performances on television were often marked by a sense of intimacy and immediacy, as if she were speaking directly to the viewer. One of Arthur's most notable roles during this period was in the 1966 film, The Last Time I Saw Archie, a comedy drama directed by Jack Webb. The film is a poignant exploration of aging, friendship, and the passage of time, with Arthur bringing her trademark wit and vulnerability to the role of Martha, a woman struggling to come to terms with her own mortality. As Jean Arthur's life drew to a close, she received numerous recognitions for her contributions to the world of cinema. This honor was a fitting tribute to a career that had spanned over 5 decades, with Arthur leaving an indelible mark on the medium through her unique blend of talent, intelligence, and wit. The legacy of Jean Arthur extends far beyond her own body of work, however, as she paved the way for future generations of actresses and inspired countless fans with her remarkable performances. Her influence can be seen in the work of actresses like Katharine Hepburn, Audrey Hepburn, and Meryl Streep, who have all cited Arthur as a major inspiration. As film critic Pauline Kael once observed, Jean Arthur is an actress who makes you feel that the camera is discovering her rather than the other way around. This quality, which defined so much of her work, has ensured that her performances remain timeless and unforgettable. Today, Jean Arthur is remembered as a true Hollywood legend, a talented and trailblazing actress who left an indelible mark on the world of cinema. Her films continue to be celebrated for their wit, intelligence, and nuance, with many of them remaining staples of American film culture. In the end, Jean Arthur passed away on January 19, 1991, at the age of 90, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate audiences today. Her impact on the film industry will be felt for generations to come, and her performances will remain timeless classics, inspiring new audiences and actors alike with their remarkable blend of wit, intelligence, and heart. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Casey Gold, reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.